If you could give yourself a bit of advice, what was something you believed early in your investing career about entrepreneurship or about what to invest in that has changed significantly as you matured?
The more I started, especially in pre-seed and seed, the more I realized that backing the individual and their passion and their insights matters more than anything else, because everything's going to change. Like the business model, like at least twice, if not more. Like the market. Don't get me wrong, you do need to do that, because the way you due diligence by talking about all those things is getting the glimpse into how they think, which is what's important. Like understanding, have they thought it through? Like, do they know? Do they have a unique insight? And like, how do they go about doing that? All those are ways to evaluate the founder. And I'd rather at pre-seed and seed, that's the number one thing that matters.
I agree. I mean, the most successful investments I made are all in founders who are, passion is almost the wrong term. In some cases, they're angry. They feel like they have something to prove. What about leadership? So think through the best leaders that you know of in the world, either ones you've met, ones you've worked with, ones you invested in, ones you've read about. What are certain leadership characteristics that are critical in a successful entrepreneur?
That is the question that I stumbled upon, because I know what style of leadership I like, but I've seen other styles of leadership that work, although they're obnoxious, misogynist assholes. What I learned is founders build a culture and a leadership culture that fits who they are. And we have assholes out there, men and women. It's not like only men. Predominantly the culture that I found that ones that actually thinks long-term is the one that doesn't screw people over. And leadership, and this is something that I found really interesting when I talk to Americans in general, which is like the American work culture that was basically brought all over the world talks about don't have emotions at work. But the reality is you can't avoid emotions. You don't need to show them, and it kind of created a leadership style that says if you care for people, you're weak. You need to take hard decisions without emotions. And I think the thing that I don't agree with is that it's hard decision without emotions. Just have the emotions with them, but still make the hard decision. You can see the individual. And one of my toughest decisions ever was when we had to cut the team in the startup I work with by 50%. It was like we were close to 80 people, and we had like in 7 different countries and so that. But that was a process coming, but I couldn't talk about it with anyone. And the head of data hired his replacement, and I couldn't go out legally on top of everything and give the guy a hint. Now, the guy left a very successful job to join us, and I knew he's on the block because he won't be able to do this. So the moment we announced the team, the first person I called was that guy and gave him the bad news. That was a week before he joined. He already finished his handover for the other company. And the first thing that he came out of his mouth was, but my work visa. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know, because I wasn't involved in the hiring process. I was like, we'll take care of it. Like, we'll make it work. Because we didn't hire him legally, we basically, weren't obliged to, or we, 1 week of pay or something like that. So I sat down with my VP of people, and she said, listen, we can basically pay him a month salary, but we can extend it over 3 months. So he'll still be employed, and we'll give him that, and that will help while he looks further. Now, the guy fucking hates me today. I assume, he hated me that day. It was tough decisions, but I was true to who I am, and we gave him the 3 months, even though it was a horrible experience for him. He ended up finding the job and everything like that. The tough decision was taken. I didn't hire him just because. I gave him 3 more weeks of salary, just extended it over 3 months.